Oh, just as I breathe a chip in. Excellent. Alright, so here we are. We've got almost all the way through displaying this Katusha-esque salvo of beers. And we are up to, in that case, could it be number 19?
Out for the 19th of December.
Yeah. It's weird how that lines up.
Right.
Alright, whose turn is it? I think it's back to David. David, no, it is me.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Already losing count. So we're going to go into number 19 and we're going to see what we get. See if we really have crossed the beer Rubicon and now into the crazy stuff model.
Yesterday was a very special
Talk about crazy stuff.
Favorite.
This bottle's upside down.
My goodness.
It's all gone. It's all gone. Topsy-turvy. Alright, and we're going to get rid of the lid. So this beer is going to be shaken by default, but hey, we'll just have to wear it, as they say. Seems fine. Seems okay.
Pretty good.
Alrighty-ho. So, another bottle. They seriously found the last bottles left in New Zealand brewing because so many people do cans now. Alright. Pretty conventional looking off the bat. So that's you call that probably beer coloured. Just about. Nothing immediate.
Yeah.
Flagging on the nose. So I guess you'd call that beer smelling as well. Bit of fruitiness, a bit of maltiness, I think. Alright, so it's another pale. Not quite strong enough for IPA. But what pale?
Yeah.
What of the hundreds of different beers? In a bottle though.
It is quite what I think of as a fluffy texture. It really foams in the mouth.
It has a bit of an effervescence. It's pretty easy going. This is a lighter body. It's definitely an ale, I'd say. I think I'd be pretty badly wrong if this was a lagered beer.
Yeah. Now, yesterday's beer was a monumental Imperial Oyster Stout. So
that was a
at
juggernaut.
the risk of breaking the illusion, we did try it for us, it was about 5 minutes ago. So we've done our best to cleanse our palates in between beers. But this is it's possibly still being overwhelmed by the recollections.
Alright, so definitely a lighter pale. It could be APA, but I mean, what's the difference? Half the pales in this country will use American hops, so there goes that definition. So that makes it a pretty tricky guess beyond that, because there are just so many different people that do them. Less so in bottles these days, but I don't know.
It's a very pleasant drop anyway.
Oh, it's nice, yeah. This is showing no characters, like it's not suffering from age or anything like that. I might go back to the well with this one and have another go at a McLeod's Paradise Pale Ale.
Interesting. All right.
Just because I know it's a pretty common one and it comes in a bottle, but we'll see. We'll call this a low confidence pick.
I've never tried McLeod's Paradise. I've tried a number of McLeod's beers and enjoyed them all. It is.
It's a 3 boys.
8 wired.
Oh, 3 boys. 8 wide, of course.
Yeah,
Tropidelic.
Behold.
So I think this is pretty much an APA from 8 wide.
5% ABV. We have. Oh, it's a wheat beer. We have barley, wheat, hops, and yeast on the ingredients.
Yeah.
And whatever details can we glean?
Tropidelic, because I think they're trying to quantify the overall experience there, which is pretty tropical.
It is all New Zealand hops, so... Okay. Well, I'm surprised and slightly intrigued.
Yeah.
8 Wired, they do a lot of extremely radical, very confrontational beer flavours, and I like that. They do.
Well, yeah, 8 Wired were the pioneers of. Actually, they were pioneers twice, which is not something you can say for a lot of. What a legend pour that was. Not a lot you can say for mini brewers. They all but pioneered the strong New Zealand IPA. They came up with Hop Wired, which was a big old 7.4%. I think it's 7.4%. 100% New Zealand IPA in an age where that strength was that would have been considered practically barley wine at the time. It was so big, so bold, that a lot of people didn't know what to do with it. I knew what to do with it because I loved it. That was the beginning of my love affair with strong IPAs.
Yeah.
And now, now that the whole you talk about beer crazes. Before all of them was the IPA craze itself. Go back 20 years and big IPAs, the pillar upon which the rest of the craft brewing industry was kind of built around, they didn't really exist. I mean, IPA would have been your English style, it would have been 5%, maybe a bit stronger. But then suddenly, here it comes a new model, getting ahead of the pack, emulating the West Coast sort of San Diego style, big 7% or even more, heavily hopped, big, sweet, rich IPA. And it was 8 Wide that brought it in, and that New Zealand brewing would never ever be the same. And they were also pioneers of the barrel program. They did some of the first barrel fermented, spontaneous, aged, whatever you can do with a barrel. They probably did it.
They're the brewers who got me to enjoy Brettanomyces.
Yeah.
Brettanomyces, what used to be called British rot, is a fungal infection of beer, which used to mean your beer went down the toilet. It was a taint. It was wasted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all it is a different sort of yeast.
Yeah. And it adds such a wildly confrontational flavour that when 8 Wide started running with it and doing great things with it, and got me to like the really challenging, really different flavour.
I think there's footage on the internet of Dave drinking an 8 Wide.
Hop Wired Unchained.
Hop Wired
it was
Unchained.
Called.
Yeah. And I believe the mission statement on that one was that Dave could not even. I think that was the bottom line on that beer. That was pretty wild stuff. That was in their really experimental years for 8 Wide, but they're a fantastic brewery up there in Warkworth now.
So what we have here is otherwise a fairly conventional pale ale with addition of some wheat and all local hops.
Yeah. No, this is just one of their sort of six-pack stuffers here. Pretty tame compared to some of the other things that they do. I think they've just finished making and selling for lunatic prices, as you do. The something like 8% spontaneous.
The Old Imperial.
Yeah, the Oud something. Yeah, crazy nonsense coming out of that brewery. Incidentally, but interesting stuff. Good stuff. Still one of my favourite brewers, even if they don't quite get up to the craziness that they did in their youth. I suppose everyone has to settle down sometime, but not us. Crazy every day. Okay, we are crazy till we leave the earth. So anyway, we're going to leave the earth briefly, and we're back tomorrow. So stick around. We'll be right back.